Yay! Okay. Fingers crossed that is doing the thing. I think it's doing the things. Wonderful. We'll get started in just a minute. Just a minute. I did not change the title. Whoops. Building Hyrule Castle in Ego. There we go. Fingers crossed. That'll work a little better. Welcome, welcome, welcome in. How are we doing today? We are on the front, and I'm going to be showing us the new feature today. We have a new feature in Studio as part of the latest update, and I'm very excited about it. Why is that not working? Okay, so new feature that they added to Studio really, really recently is here. In what's it called? In model, you can come down and press add reference imagery, and this has made me really, really happy because it means I can go into my source model files, which is what I'm doing now. And as I come on down to the right file, which I'm desperately trying to find super quickly, I can perform magic and sorcery, which is this. And there we go. Okay. I can add reference images to Studio. And this is super cool. Look at this. This is insane. We love this. Now, the reason we love this, as you may have been able to gather, is because this is this here. Well, part of it is. It's not finished yet. But looking across, you can see we've got our entrance, and it allows me to go, well, everything on this base plate now needs to line up with that. And I no longer have to flip between tabs and seal things different places. It's really, really cool. I'm very excited about it. So we are going to hopefully do a lot of building today while we discuss things. Got a couple of things to talk about. Obviously, there's Tears. Always happy to talk about Tears. Been playing this morning. I was supposed to play the Pikmin 4 demo, but didn't. Excellent work on my part regarding that. I really, really need to play that demo because I really want to know if the game is good. And then obviously there was the leak about a new theme yesterday, and while we don't know what theme it is, I thought it'd be fun if we just pretend that it's Lego Zelda, right? And then just see, what sets could they produce? Beyond that, we also have other things to talk about, such as some new figures that I've been drawing, a new custom that I finished yesterday evening. See, after stream, I didn't just stop working. I did so much more, and I've got to talk to you guys about that because it's really cool. I really, really like it. I think it's awesome. I'm not going to show it today because I think it's that good, but I have just finished my custom of the Great Sky Island, the opening section, and I'm so pleased with it that I'm looking to order parts for it almost instantly. So what are we actually doing here, though? That is the most important part. Well, as I mentioned, this is the front of the West Passage. The West Passage comes under here. This is our giant minifigure scale Hyrule Castle. And I am trying to deal with the terrain. So I'm going to take this frame here, and I'm going to up-level it to this height. You can see I already did a little bit of prep for this because I didn't want it to be full of me screaming at walls. You can see here, this is the next frame. So really what I'm doing is I'm going to build up this white line so that it matches the top. That's the first job. And then we're going to add a platform to the top. Basically, we're going to make this middle layer over here. So we've currently done this bottom part here. Now we're going to do the middle part, and then we're putting the base layer for the wall at the back, but we're actually going to move to the plate next door. If I bring in the next reference image, we're also going to be doing this here. So this is one plate on, I believe that's the, nope, that's better, yep, the right way around. So you can see we're also going to continue all these layerings just so they line up. Now the key difference here is this plate here. It's designed to be removed because there's an interior down here, as is expected for the West Passage. But the plate next door doesn't need that. It's golden, it's good, it's all okay. And the reason it's okay is because there's no rooms underneath, so it can just be solid. So we're going to build a solid one next to it. And we're going to do them sort of simultaneously so that it's all nice and strong and linked together. There's actually waterfalls on this one, which is neat. I haven't done one of those yet in this model. And let's just get another reference image in here for context. My favourite tool to give you guys. Fingers crossed this should actually help a little bit. Maybe not actually. I'm looking at it and I'm not seeing it being helpful. Let's and make it really big. Ooh, bigger. Whoa! We're here, down on this small section here. I'm sure I'll come back to this time and time again as we go through. Look how close we are to the front gatehouse, though. That's the front of the castle. We're so close. It's really awesome. Okay, but we're not going to get anything done unless I actually build at the same time. So, what shall I talk about first? We have many, many topics, as mentioned. Let's start with what have I been up to today. So, as mentioned, I have been playing some Tears this morning. I've obviously been working on some other customs. As we talked about yesterday, I actually spent a good proportion turning all the Zonai devices into Lego forms. And I'm not disappointed in the results, but I can't say that they're exactly what I hoped. Some of them are much more difficult to translate than you might expect. They've proven to be a rather challenging thing to recreate. More specifically, the elemental heads, they're going to need some stickers, like the beam emitter, flame emitter, shock emitter, cannon, light, we done shock, and others are all very challenging to recreate. I should have expected this, considering their small scale. The other one that was really, really difficult was the balloon. I spent a long time on the balloon. Some of them, very easy. Some of them, less so. Cool, let's get an inverted slope in here. So the key with rock work like this is always to mix up the parts that I'm using. Now usually I can't actually stick these inverted ones here on the ground level because the ground level has these water tiles on and it would sort of get in the way. So you'll notice that all the way along here, the lowest we can have one down is rested on a plate. But up here, we don't have to worry about this. Now, it's going to be a little more repetitive than the usual rock work because I'm only working with a max 3 height before we actually have to put tiles down and start the, well, what would be... Ooh, no, I'm wrong. I don't have to. Ah, see, he's smart now. He's smart. He's got it. Okay, lesson time. So, usually, when I put a plate on here, you'll see that it's a row of bricks sandwiched with plates on the top and the bottom. Now that's obviously what's been intended to go on top of here, but as you'll also see, there's like nothing in here, so like why would I need to do that at all? Just ever. It's not necessary. So in fact we'll probably do this to here as well. We'll probably take off all this tiling and plating and rough up the edges, and we'll just bring it up to full height, which gives me an extra 1, 2, and 3. So 5 plates worth of height, which is a little more awkward than where we are now. You'll notice that it's a nice even number, whereas this is going to make it a little messier. So maybe I will leave it as it is. I mean, technically it's 6, but the reason I can't say it's 6 is because this top one will have to be... Oh no, the top one will be flat, so it's 4, including this layer. So we could do a whole extra row of brick and then a tile. We'll come back to that. But my point being is it means I don't have to be so pedantic and do things like this. It means I can take that off, bring that away, and bring in the inverted slope and go up just a little bit higher. Now I do have to be careful because this plate here on the top is supposed to be the big layer that goes over the thing. So if I come across and I grab, say, a 6x plate and elevate it like this, like that is the level it has to touch because there's going to be plate resting on top of it. So I quite like the fact that this has reached a 4. We can do that. And then we've got a space of 2, which, to be honest, no bueno. Not a fan. Not a fan. Why don't we do something interesting? We will do that. I'm not a fan of that. See, the other big key thing we've got to work on with this is making things not too straight upwards. We don't want there to be massive plate segments going, oh, look at me, I'm in the way. But, yeah, so I spent a decent chunk of the morning doing Zonai devices for the Custom Set Showcase. And now that that's done, that's very exciting, we can move onwards in a sense onto more custom sets. There are only 2 customs left to be made before the wave is done, in a sense. Let's put that on top of there. And then I can get on with more figures and more so. But I did do something else figure related this morning. As you guys know, a couple of days ago, I actually did Muktarok, the first of the tiers bosses that are going to be appearing in the custom set. And I created it. Well, I didn't create a new piece for that. I said that he has a new piece that has appeared in has appeared in a Wave 4 set that's designed but hasn't been released yet, because obviously we're doing tiers now instead, and we'll come back and obviously you'll see it. Obviously your guys will all associate it as, oh, that's the Muktarok piece, but no, it was actually designed for Octoroks instead. So I finally got around to drawing the rest of the Octorok sort of sculptures, however you want to call it, this morning, which was nice. So I now have all 6 variants of Breath of the Wild Octoroks. 5-second quiz for you guys. Does anyone know all 6 type of Octorok? Now I'm aware that our view numbers are not exactly going to get someone to type them out. So I shall give you 30 seconds and then I shall reveal the answer, and it can be like a quiz if anyone's watching this back afterwards. Because I did not know that there were this many unique colorings for them. Now, number 1 is the Sky Octorok. It's a pinkish color. Most of them have different eye colors, which I found unique. Again, didn't know that. That was a discovery to be made this morning. That's too high. This is what I don't like about off-height rock work like this. It's really frustrating. Anyway, yeah, so the first one is the Sky Octorok, which is pretty much exclusive to the DLC. It's the same colour as the Octo balloons, often seen hanging up flying platforms, and doesn't have anything in its hair. So that's like a pinkish colour. Then there's the grass, the water, the snow, and the rock Octoroks. And then the last one is the Easter egg one. It is, of course, the Treasure Octorok. And I did the dumb thing. I just put a treasure chest on his head and was like, yep, that's the figure. This is okay. I don't love this. I'll be honest, I don't love this. Okay, so I'm going to break my own rules slightly. I'm going to put this one above, but it doesn't matter too much because of what's coming. So I don't often put support pillars in here because when we actually build the castle in real life, it will just be filler brick, so it doesn't matter by any means. That's 4 high. Then we need another 2. Yeah. So I started this, I can't remember if it was a little earlier or a little later than yesterday's. Because my computer was rendering. It was rendering out the custom set renders. So I had to wait until it was done before I could start the stream today. This will be our last one for a while. Because 1, I know that my voice can't keep up. I don't have enough interesting things to say. But 2, just why not? I'm going to be busy after this, and I need to get grinding on the customs again. So for now, this will be the last one for a little bit. But I always want to do these every now and again. We'll see. Very busy though. Always busy. So streaming is a lower priority than getting the videos out. That's pretty ugly. So it's a shame that that doesn't fit in there, because that would be a really cool use of the shape. Let's try the 1x4. So the higher up we go with this castle as well, the more I get to use parts like this in different ways. Because, again, I don't have to worry about the water. I don't have to worry about supporting a Technic frame here because it's just going to be built into the cliff. So it's really nice like that. Let's just do a quick check that this is the plate boundary, isn't it? Yeah, so do you see the slice line down the middle with the pink here? That's super important. Okay. Right. So, back we go, up to the top. Now that we've done that, let's put you in there. Actually, no, I changed my mind. We're going to go for a 2x2 plate. And then we just need to fill in the gaps. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So it needs to be a 2x8 plate. What this also provides is a nice interesting insight for you guys into how the castle is built. Considering it's such a big project, it's hard to sort of explain or know where we are. But the addition of reference images to Studio is insanely useful for not only for me, but for the videos as well. And I'm sure you'll be seeing them appear in the background every now and again as well, so that I can explain what's going on and what I'm doing and why things are problematic, because so much of this castle is just a problem child. There's no nicer way to put it, really. It's a difficult, difficult beast. Let's do something unique. Let's go down there. Add another inverted slope. But at the end of the day, it's mindless work, give or take a few. Obviously, it requires an incredible amount of thought to push through and work out what's going on. But besides that, it's just a game of not waiting, but deliberation. There we go. That's the word I'm looking for. Right, that was a 1x1. Because I want this thing to look cool, we're going to shrink that down, use 2 plates instead, and then I can fit a more unique shape up here. In fact, we're going to change out the inverted slope for a 1x3 inverted slope. Now, I don't use these nearly often enough at all. I'm going to use the bigger version, such as this one here. And then we'll just straight away use the long 1x3 here. No, we're going to use the 1x2. He's thinking. You can literally see the cogs turning. There we go. Okay, this is a little different from what usually happens with these castle bits, really, because normally I don't have the opportunity to just build it indirectly. Usually I have to build it around a Technic frame, which makes things more challenging, but I'm already building off a Technic frame here. That's the change up. You can see the interior sticks out, which is why we have to elevate more, but also we elevate more because it tells us to. Also, equally important, following the instructions. It's amazing that I still have motivation to do this much rock work after all this time. Shocking. Is that too high? No. Good. Progress. That's too high. Perfect. Again, it's just all about keeping it slightly more varied than normal. I've often considered making a new palette in Studio. For those of you who don't know, you can select parts or part sections to appear in like a hotbar form, or like have them all regular to hand, and that'd be really useful for stuff like the castle, where I really am using like 7 different pieces all the time. And I can just, instead of having to scroll through the entire menu, I'd be able to just pick between wedges and slopes and plate, just so that I have everything to hand. And I've considered doing that regularly, but I've just never done it. I don't know why. No, I don't know why I don't do it, because it would make my life easier. But then again, I worry it would put more limitations on what I build, right? Like, it would define how I look for solutions to problems in building, which is something you never want to get trapped in, because if you're not looking for fresh solutions, then the new ideas aren't going to come either. So it's really important to me that I get to see the whole parts palette all the time, learn what's new, learn how they expect it to be used, experiment with new solutions. Specifically for the showcase, it's more applicable there. I use it a lot more there, to check to look for new ideas or new ways of rendering characters. And also I jump between more part categories more often on the showcase, because I'm doing finer details or different kind of things, or pieces left, right and center. There's just more variation as to what's going on. Okay, that is coming together. Now, according to this looks to me like it drops down ever so slightly. So from here, we're going to start a 4-plate decrease that's going to move down to be the 3 height, the height we started at originally, something that's nicer to work with. One, for the sake of the plate to the right, which will be starting soon, but also just because I think it will look better. I'd probably, see what I mean, I'm just getting distracted almost immediately. Should probably finish this section of wall first though, just because for some reason it clearly has not been completed. So see what I mean. I need to scroll between brick, and I do it fast because I'm really practiced at going between what I associate as the main 4 categories or so of parts in Studio, or the main ones I use the most are a brick plate, tile, wedge, and slope are the big five. But then again, there's times where you'll go to brackets a lot, or you'll go to minifigure parts, so I don't really want to limit myself and have to change palettes when I could just scroll. So for now, we'll keep it as it is. It's inconvenient, but there's definitely some categories like the Bionicle ones which I access on a blue moon in a sense. Although I do still access them. It does still happen. What is Octane doing with Bionicle parts? That is the question. Who knows? You'll have to wait and find out. It's not like I've accessed them recently or anything, but they do come up. It'd be surprising to me, at least, that the globe piece, as well as some of the Hero Factory elements that we use on a day-to-day basis in mocks, are marked as Bionicle, according to Bricklink. Hello, MI Man. Nice to see you again. Glad you could make it and join us for today. As promised, we're here in the castle. I suppose it is about time that I should give a quick overview. So, using Studio's fantastic new feature that we love to bits, I can actually show you where we are in the castle now and make it much easier to see. So the exact plate is this one here. We're working on this blue plate here. And you can see that this is the entrance to the West Passage. And if I come over to our big image, here it is again, you can see that we're really close to the front gatehouse. The main attraction, what I've been trying to get to for multiple years now, is just get to this front section here. Now, the plate we're working on has multiple problems attached with it. Not only is the top section here, which we've been working on and leveling up, need to be hollow, for the interior underneath, we actually also need to make the bits next to it not removable. So we've got to do a slight rework over here to add a questionable amount of support pillars, but also put a roof on this section that will be level, as you can see with what is nearby here. It's like a big slope up that comes up and around, and our goal is to get that so that we can come to the top, because what you'll see here on the very edge is this platform, and that platform is my current goal, is to get that platform in. But to do that, I have to start all the way over here and build upwards for foundations. So this platform, where we are right now, is the lowest one, this baby one here. We're going to finish off the next layering, which is what I'm doing now, and then we're going to start the foundations for this plate over here. And then we'll go from there. Any questions? Because for once I can actually answer them due to the nature of the castle. It's incredibly difficult to answer. I think people are potentially even scared of asking questions about this model because it's so hard to orientate. But I can explain. The only thing I can't do today, unfortunately, is bring up the large file, like the mega file that has everything in it, because that file will crash my computer. It's too big. It's like 30,000 parts at this point, and it's still growing. A wonderful, wonderful achievement for sure. What will I put in the sanctum? Good question. Now we have 3 games of which to base reference material off for the castle now. And I first should start by saying the sanctum is obviously quite a way off given how low down the castle we are. But this is a pre-Calamity castle, so we'll be using the references from the end of the regional phenomena battle with the Phantom Ganons in the sanctum that's rebuilt as our main reference for what the sanctum looked like, as well as Age of Calamity. The sanctum will be decorated as normal, but beneath it, the observatory, I believe it's called, where you actually fight a Calamity Ganon in Breath of the Wild, will be present. Now, there's obviously quite a bit of area beneath the castle as well, such as the escape route that Zelda uses in Age of Calamity, in the Calamity Strikes mission. That I'm hoping to be present, which should just be a drop chute down to the docks. Beyond that, I do also want to try and include the Forgotten Foundations, or at least the entrance to Forgotten Foundations. Bearing in mind we don't know the exact placement of it, but I would like to have the imprisoning chamber if at all possible. I accept that that may be a tall order, though, to work out its exact location or fit it in amongst all the support networks. But I'm confident that once the ground floor is in, I should be able to put the foundations in, and I'm really excited for that because I think it will be a lot of fun. Yes, I also want to include the new addition to the Castle Frontiers, which is the Royal Family Escape Passageway. If this was a set, how much it would cost? An arm and a leg, because there aren't that many pieces available on the black market. I joke. Well, Bricklink can tell us. So, 1,600 pieces of rockwork comes to an estimated price of 300 Great British pounds. Let's round up, say $400 for 2 cube sections. Now, according to my estimates, there's a full alphabet plus about 16, so 26 plus another 10. This is a conservative estimate of about 36 plates at $400 each. So 400 times 36. These estimates ballooning out of control. And then times that by 3. The rough estimate, $43,000 maybe. I don't know. I didn't really put that much effort into the maths there, so I'm probably wrong. Cost also in bulk will make that a lot easier. But you asked if it was a set. They would never, or at least I hope they would never, because it's just too big. Now I could see them doing a castle for about 500 or so, maybe. But if this was an actual kit that you could buy off a shelf, one, it would take up the entire space of like a pallet lorry. It would have to be delivered in the most random way possible on a pallet truck. Probably a lot is the answer, yes. I don't know for sure. I will know once it's finished, though. We'll be able to do statistics. Why'd I say it weird? But that is, of course, also a long way off. That's the thing with this castle. It's incredibly hard to ask people to be patient with something that is quite literally going to take years. Okay, let's get another one or two earlier. So we were talking earlier, before you got here, about a certain thing. A certain important little trivial piece that yesterday we saw some information about a new Lego theme. Actually, let me just use my new reference image tool to bring it up. And if I turn that around, this was the information that we've received yesterday, and we have no idea whether it is relevant to Zelda at all. Statistics, yeah, statistics. Nope, I will be doing proper statistics on it whenever it's finished, using like an Excel sheet, the same as I will with the custom sets when they're all finished. You saw it on the Discord? Yeah, Hylian's Discord, we were talking about it because I saw this. So we have 5 price points. We have a €14, so $10, $10, $20, $18, and then $30, a $40 and a $70, $80 set. Now, based off those prices, what do we reckon? The theory is, what could those sets be? If we were making a Zelda license, what would we price at 10, 20, 30, 40, and 80? These are the important questions, even if it turns out to be wrong. User in CAD, as in Canadian. Oh, okay. About 100, 50, 60... 30, 40, 25, and then probably 15 euros. Those are in dollars. Oh, I thought those were euros. Oh, that's disappointing. I missed them wrong. I thought you were talking about CAD design software for a minute, but that's not relevant. So for anyone not informed, of course, we think these could be about a 50-50 chance of being Zelda, good old Lego Zelda, because of well, the timing for one lines up. The decoration is not on there yet, and the age range seems a little off, but everything else sort of would support the idea that it could be that. The prices are slightly overpriced for a licensed set, as we would expect for the piece counts, which is good. I'm not saying they're overpriced and you shouldn't buy them. I'm just saying that compared to a non-licensed theme, they're a little on the high side. Beyond that, I'm just curious, really. I wonder what they could be. I mean, of course, it could literally be any license, but you know what? It's fun to guess. You can't really say otherwise. For the minifigs, yeah. So these ones would be minifigure sets, we'd assume, if it was Zelda, because they wouldn't do just like a whole range of 18+ sets. That is, of course, a reality that we could be faced with, is that Nintendo just says, no, this is not a game for kids, therefore, no toys. I'm like, well, that would be really silly, but okay. Nintendo does what Nintendo wants to do, is the motto that we should all live by, because they don't owe us anything, shockingly, as much as I would very much like them to owe me something. If I could ask Nintendo to do one thing for me, wow, what a world that would be. Lego is for all ages. No, exactly, that's the point. However, is Zelda for all ages according to Nintendo? Lego know that. But do Nintendo want to view Zelda that way? Who knows? Because they don't produce other forms of merchandise is the main counterpoint, as they seem to just hate. Other than 100 plus or -3, oh, that's just Duplo. It's still Lego, just because it has the funny name doesn't mean it's not. So I'd argue that anything from half a year old up until, as you said, 100, because of the weird 99 thing, which I still find funny. Lego is for everyone in that range, but as soon as you turn 100, that's it. I've got to burn it all. I joke, please do not commit arson on your Lego collection. Thank you. Oh dear. Okay. It's going to look a little regular for now, but we'll texture it up using the most useful piece, the 2x2 curve plate. Incredibly useful. You played Twilight Princess when you were 3. I question the logistics of how you played TP at the age of 3. I struggled to play TP at my age. But that might be more of a problem with TP than me. I know, TP gets too much love. It's not a bad game. I'm just tired of fake edgy. But yeah, age guidelines don't matter. Let's just hope Nintendo agrees, because this is a 7+ marketed theme. Admittedly, no proof that it's Zelda at all. But I can hope, I can dream. Right, so what I'm doing is I am texturing. If that wasn't abundantly clear by me just completely zoning out, I am trying to make something that looks semi-decent. Very difficult to do. Okay, let's put, how many studs do we reckon? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Let's just try a 4x12 plate. I played A Link Between Worlds when I was that young. I was scared of the knights that would appear that you wouldn't leave the town. Yeah, I hear that this is like a common thing where people get like scared by one of the like immediate like Zelda enemy things that like appear in like the spooky times, so like the knights from Link Between Worlds, or I hear about the Redeads all the time. The Redeads, man, they're responsible for some childhood traumas for some people. It's crazy. I mean, my first introduction to that kind of part of Zelda would have been the Silent Realms from Skyward Sword, so they were a treat to be introduced to. Terrifying. Link Between Worlds is very underrated. So I've played Link Between Worlds, but it was enough time ago now that I didn't remember too much about the soundtrack. So I went back and I was listening to some of the music last week, actually, coincidentally, that we're talking about it. And Yuga's theme is incredible. No one talks about the choir chanting in Yuga's theme, at least not enough anyway. I didn't know, I didn't remember this, but definitely up there. My favourite 2D, I think, followed by the original Link's Awakening. I'd really love to play the Oracle games. Like, not on Switch Online though. I'd really love to play remakes or own it. I don't want to subscribe to Switch Online because I want to play them at my own pace. And I still have the continuous problem of turning on my Switch and just playing Tears. And like, and my man, we mentioned the Pikmin 4 demo yesterday. I was like, okay, I'm going to play the Pikmin 4 demo before I stream today so that I can talk about it. And I turned on the Switch and just by instinct pressed Tears, and then that was it. That was what I was playing. I can't go back. It's not like I could press a button and just turn the game off, but no. You started playing Ages on Switch Online. How is it? Is Ages puzzle or combat? Because everyone says that one's more combat based and one's more puzzle based. I can never remember which. Fake fan, I know. Play Seasons on my 2DS a while ago. So I missed the eShop. I wasn't paying attention. I got on the Wii Virtual Console. Original because I was going to buy it for my 3DS. But I was informed heavily that the remakes sucked compared to the originals, so I listened. I can agree. On my own research, I do think the remake was potentially a downgrade. I don't think it's as over dramatic as everyone claims it is, but that's neither here nor there. Ages is puzzle. Okay, so Seasons is combat. I know it makes really no difference. It's basically the same. Oh, we can just do that. I forgot, because we're not working on a Technic frame. I can make this pretty. Because grey is boring. Green. You can add some grass. Turn this into a non-calamity castle. That's what I love about the difference between the castles. Is if I'd chosen to do the Breath of the Wild version, it would have just been even more grey. Maybe some dark tan for pathing, just to add any contrast at all. But grass. Really, this should also be grass, but we'll come back to that. Maybe later. There's a lot to do, and it all goes slowly. I was very pleased upon looking back at our glide suit from yesterday, this morning. I was very pleased. Particularly impressed with how that turned out. I'm really, really good. Seasons isn't good. It has some boring sections. Well, I imagine you'll have similar feelings about Ages because they were designed to be the same. Oh, I forgot. Minish Cap is my favourite 2D, for sure. Minish Cap is my favourite in the 2D games. Some boring sections. Yeah, well, I mean, they all do to a certain extent. It's like I struggle going back to the Great Plateau. Even in Breath of the Wild, I've done it so many times. I'm sick of it. I don't enjoy the amount of checks that you have to go through with some of the filler sequences for Skyward Sword, or I wish I could speed some of them up. And Wind Waker's opening irritates me. Not the part on Outset Island, the what comes after. The fact that they just don't let you put that boat anywhere until after. I can understand up until Dragon Roost, but after Dragon Roost you should be allowed to sail wherever. I'm just spitting facts. Never played Minish Cap, but really want to, yeah. I wish I still had access to it. I believe I borrowed it when I played it, so I don't have a physical copy, which is a shame. But it is on my quest of either... Maybe they won't remake it because it's technically Capcom, but once they either remaster it or put it on... Not Switch Online again, because I won't play it on Switch Online. Because I don't have Switch Online, and I have no intention of getting Switch Online. If they ever remaster it, or I'll buy a cartridge. Because didn't they port it? I feel like they ported it for... Did they port it for DS? Is there a DS cartridge? Forsaken Fortress, yeah, does suck on repeats. It's okay the first time because you don't know where you're going, but then you realise it's incredibly simple. But I also was irritated... If you miss the jump or something very early on, at the very end of Forsaken Fortress, you have to like redo it all over again, and it's just bad game design. First Nintendo game I ever played, that would be tied between... I mean, depends if it's first party or... Do you mean first party or third party? Because it's different, right? Because my first console was the Wii. Oh no, DS, and then a year... Or was it Wii and then DS, or DS then Wii? A Switch Online for Mario Maker 2 and Mario Kart. Yeah, a lot of the reasons. See, I don't have 8 Deluxe yet. I will get it when it goes on sale. I will get it at some point. I'm just not in a rush for these things. First party would be a tie between Mario Kart Wii and probably Skyward would be next, I think, Skyward Sword. But definitely Mario Kart Wii came first, just because Wii launch. We did third party for a long time, so we had the Wii in our house, but just didn't use Nintendo's first party operations for ages. So I had a lot of the Lego games growing up, unsurprisingly, and also just a lot of shovelware, really. Between Mario Wii and Mario World. I see. This play won't line up. There we go. Let's change that, actually. I am not a fan. There we go. One of those, and then we need a 1x1 brick. Then we need the plate to come out here, and then the 1x2 to sit on top. Yeah, so I know a fair bit about Nintendo's history, but not loads left, right and centre. Okay. Mostly I'm a Zelda expert. Yeah, Mario Wii and Kirby's Return to Dreamland. Kirby's not one that I've ever dedicated too much time to. I think I've played a couple of demos, but as we're discovering very fast, I'm very picky about what games I actually buy. But nostalgia is a powerful tool. Oh no, I've made a mistake, haven't I? Yep. Octane done silly. Octane done the silly. B. L. Oh no. He's messed up. Is that attached to what? Okay, so it's this point here. So LL. Yeah, I messed up. Okay, we got to delete this. Basically, I should use my words. I have covered up the join between the plates that I was using. So we want to keep those on there. But what about you? You know, you can stay on there. You're fine, aren't you? So, oh no, undo it. Thank you. So what I need to do is I need to make a quick support structure. So we're going to grab this L-shaped plate there, and we're going to make it dark grey. We're going to make it dark grey, and we're going to cover it up. Little square, but nothing too awful. Shouldn't be too bad. Okay, so next job is to take you, which is our next line that we need to trace along, and we're going to elevate it. Beaten all shrines in Breath of the Wild? Yes, I have. I'm very, very good at the game. No. My Breath of the Wild file isn't a true 100% file, but I have done all shrines, all quests, twice. But I have more hours and tears now, which is slightly sad. But also I was a lot younger when Breath of the Wild came out, so it was a lot harder to justify spending as much time in the world. I finished all Schema Zones today. Yeah, but did you do all Koroks? And did you do one of those playthroughs on Master Mode in the space of just over 48 hours? Ooh. difficult questions. Nope. Ah. So I've done all Koroks, I believe, once. Have you ever played Cadence of Hyrule, though? It's one of the spin-off games. It's always a good question. Not as many people have. I'm always surprised. Okay, not bad, not bad. Did Master Mode in like not long, yeah. So the thing about me is I suck with the perfect dodges and parries. Like I just never practice them, so I'm never prepared for when both final bosses in Breath of the Wild and then the final boss for Tears are just parry fights every time. Chat is quite delayed. Yeah, I know it's not as awful as you might think. I think mostly it's the delay on me. I'm never expecting replies. It's not. It could be a lot worse. Chat delay. I must make sure that slow mode's turned off though, which I know it's not. So I shall go do that now. Let us go into the settings. The land of magical settings. Where have they gone? Customization. Nope, slow mode is off. Okay, I'm using Gibdo bows and arrows. See, when I did the fight, he just kept swiping my arrows away, like the little rat that he is. So I had to learn flurries on the spot, as he was stealing my permanent hearts. It's a cool fight though. It's the only fight I've ever gone back and beaten twice in the same day. Because of that save point above Gloom's origin, or Gloom's lair, whatever you want to call it. It's very cool. We do like the fight a lot. Okay. I'm just going to move this plate across. We're working out our little surface area problems. Okay. You mean in glitch? Oh, so like either specifically using them, or I assume just trying to cheese it in any way possible. I'm not. I'm very much tried and true proper methods. Full hearts and full stamina. So you did the dupe glitch using the statue lady, right? That's the official terms. You used the statue lady. I thought that was quite difficult to pull off though. I'm very impressed. Maybe it's not a lady. I don't know. I haven't checked out. The Hylia's obviously is. Not the Bargainers. That's Tears. What's she called? What are they called? What is it? The Harvester? No, that's not right. Horned Statue! Horned Statue. I got there. Lord Wind was, I have done both Bliss and Wind Bombs in Breath of the Wild, but never to actually go anywhere, just for fun. I wanted to see what it was like. See if I could pull it off. Turns out, no, I really couldn't. But then again, my copy of Breath of the Wild is on the Wii U, so... I shall use that as a valid excuse, despite it making literally no difference to the performance of the game. I believe it did make one of the glitches harder, or one of the glitches impossible. But no, I've done both of those. I've done BLSS and Kabom Wind Bomb. That's its name. I forgot. It's been a long time now, though. I haven't touched Breath of the Wild. I think I didn't touch Breath of the Wild for nearly a year before Tears, just because, one, I was playing through the classic games, but also so that I was ready to explore the same world, because I didn't realise how different it would be, so I was really worried about just getting burnt out on Tears, just by accident of having played a lot of Breath of the Wild. Turns out wasn't a problem, like, at all. Octane does love tears. Okay, we need to work out what we're doing here. So let's lay down a little foundation for us. This one's not a Forgotten Foundation, though. I just really like that name, too. Forgotten Foundation. It's super cool. I love it when they do cool names instead of other names that sound like teen romance books, like Tears of the Kingdom. The name has grown on me, obviously. It's taken on a lot of new meaning, but I still stand by that it sounds like a teen romance novel. Okay, so this is going to be a low point of the model. This is one of the few points where a sloped platform hits the water. Have both Wii U and Switch with discs on both. So we're a fan of the more physical media then. Yeah, I regret having any digital forms. I wish I could have discs for all of them. I have a disc for Tears, I have a disc for Skyward Sword, I have a disc for Wind Waker and TP and OOT, but I don't have discs for MM. Only 3D1 I don't have a disc for. Or at least mainline 3D1 I don't have a disc for a lot of the older ones. Okay. So this is the point where it hits the water. So we're going to start building up this foundation. No, I think we'll go like that. Good. Oh, with DLCs on both, not discs both. Okay, that one's on me. This time it wasn't a bad typing like we had yesterday. That wasn't you yesterday, but yesterday we had a case of bad typing which confused me. But nope, this one's on me. DLCs on both. Right, gotcha. I mean, it's the right way to play the game. I mean, I'm still very glad that the DLC is included in the base game, because that's what makes me think we're not getting anything for Tears, because, well, it's all in the game already. Well, I suppose that wouldn't exactly sell DLC. Here, buy the same DLC you had before again. DLC for Breath of the Wild is fantastic. Obviously, as you have it on both, you obviously would understand that I would definitely recommend the DLC to anybody. Looking at this, yeah, sure, maybe I'm a bit too far over, but it would do. Specifically Among Us Kosher, right? It's just the best. What an incredible fight. I wish I could go into that blind. Trial of the Sword, yeah. That DLC for me is just Master Mode, right? Like, that's why I would play that DLC, or why I would consider that worthy DLC. And of course the Misco items from that set. But yeah, no thank you on Trial of the Sword. Trial of the Sword Master Mode is rough. It's painful. Like watching other people try though. Beginning's not too bad. Middle's opening levels suck so much. And then end is just insane management of stuff. Perfect parries and saving your ancient arrows for the Guardians and Lynels. Guardian, I feel like it would be much easier in Tears. As you mentioned just then with the Proving Grounds, yeah. Proving Grounds, yeah, no, they're great. Some of them are a little iffy, I think. Some of them, depends on which one you're doing. But most of them are stellar, absolutely amazing, or just a lot of fun. I specifically love the one where you commit a drive-by. That's always entertaining. My favourite one is the one where you have to build the car, though. It's not Proving Grounds, it's you build a car to go up a ramp kind of thing. And you have to take the ball with you. It's in Central Hyrule, I believe. It was really fun. Well, it made me think for a long time. Hated try. Yeah, it's so much of an improvement on the Breath of the Wild equivalent, the major test of strength. I didn't even notice really until much later that it was actually supposed to be a replacement for the major test of strength. It just did not click with me that, oh wait, they replaced the thing I hated, because I hated the thing. I did not expect to go into 152 shrines and only think there are two that would suck. As far as I'm concerned, there are only two bad shrines in Tears of the Kingdom. Only two. One of them is actually bad, and it's the testing your knowledge on stealth, because the constructs have ridiculous stealth pickup. I had to wait until I'd maxed out a stealth armor, I think it was, before I could get through that shrine. Oh, not maxed out, but like had a full set of stealth armor before I could complete the shrine. It was ridiculous. Stupid requirement. It was just so unnecessarily hard. Maybe I'm impatient, but it was worst shrine in the game. Worst shrine in the game. Absolutely awful. And the only other one that I consider to be bad, and I feel bad because it was also bad in Breath of the Wild, it's the Hateno Village Shrine. I just loathe, like, the concept of put the ball on the wheel is still really interesting to me. I really love it as an idea. It makes for a great shrine. I was excited when I went in there. Just something about the actual puzzle just killed the vibe so much. I don't know what it was. I still, to this day... Oh, I'll be back in 1 second. Okay, back again. That was just the mail coming. Nothing for me today, though. Shame. Lego on the way. Okay, where were we? Stealth Shrine. Yes. Yeah, the Hateno one sucks. Other people may disagree, but I think the Hateno one is one of the worst. And it was also awful because it was the maze in Breath of the Wild. I don't think I could go back to Breath of the Wild, not when we have such good content now. I hated South Akala in Breath of the Wild. With the castle, I assume, the citadel. I'm assuming because of that. And how many guardians there were there. And the fact that Akala has a ridiculously high rain percent for some reason. Oh, the shrine. South Akala stable, right. Zika show. Oh, is that... That isn't, is it? Is it golf? Golf or the hitting one? It's the apparatus. Yeah. Oh, that was bad. That was so bad. The other one... Gold is east. Yeah, golf is east of that. But also, the other one that sucked, that was really bad in Breath of the Wild, specifically, was the stasis one too. At Woodland Stable in the Great Hyrule Forest. I hate Miro Shaz. Tempered Power. Whoever designed that. Yeah, okay, it's good use of stasis, but... Not that sucked. See what I mean? There are numerous bad shrines in Breath of the Wild. I just don't feel that way in Tears. We got incredibly lucky. That extra year of development time, I'm sure they changed some out. You know how they said they spent a year polishing? Some of that time was probably spent coming up with cool shrine concepts. But we literally had a game of Jenga. That was a shrine. That was cool. It wasn't complicated, but that's a really neat idea. I love that. And then the drive-by shrine, the one where you just drift through space, like the low gravity driving as well. The proving ground concepts like infiltration, the jailbreak shrine, yeah, that was awesome. So much good stuff. It didn't even feel like a shrine. Exactly. That's what's cool about that kind of stuff. We have made a mistake. I have made a mistake. Once again. Octane is dumb. Okay. Actually, no, it's not a mistake. It's a deliberate choice that I forgot about within 5 minutes. As with most of my decisions and thought processes, I just forgot what I was doing. So many good shrines, though. Too many to name. That's for sure. The fact that you can discover cheese in this game is also just incredible. That's not talked about enough. That's trash, yeah, because it was basically a blessing. And Under the Red Moon was just, it was all about timing, and there was nothing nearby, so unless you had the DLC and therefore the travel medallion to make it easier, it was just luck. I do miss Cass's puzzles, though. I feel like riddles would have worked just as well in this game. I don't know why he's not here. Why they felt we need to get rid of them. You had the medallion when you did it. See, I had played it before DLC, so I think I had a shrine run complete even before DLC came out. No, or before I got the DLC. DLC was already out before I even played the game, so because I was very late to the party. Okay. Right, now this may be confusing because I have laid down a nice bit of terrain and then I've covered it up with ocean. But we're gonna steal some tiles and it will all become crystal clear before too long. The Cass song is very nostalgic, yeah, the do 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 do. No, that is the Stormwind Arc. Do 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 do. Yeah, but actually good instead. It's a good song too. It doesn't help that it is. It helps a lot that it is a good song. And that it was heavily featured for Champions Ballot too. There we go. Okay, progress is being made. This is amazing. Hello and welcome in, Nicole. How are we doing today? It's certainly a big castle. We're working on just one small corner. See, we've broken out the emojis too. Lots of fun. Yeah, we're having we're making steady no progress really at all, but small chunks, right, based on my lovely new reference imagery. I sometimes just forget what I'm doing, I guess. Okay, if we can fill in this gap, we can get the wall up to height, and then that means we can move on, because like I don't really need to go any further around this corner here at all, because this part's all solid as well, so it's not really interesting to me. I am focused on the getting this green part and getting this layer done and then getting up to full height. So the next marker up here is the full height marker, all the way up here. Favorite song from the whole series? Whole series? Just the whole thing? Because my favorite song... Oh, that's so hard to choose. How am I supposed to pick? It's Zelda, man. They've got all of the music. It's all good. From anything. I'm going to stick to the games because that's relevant. No, not video game songs. Oh, okay. I just assumed it would be related, but because Tears has some great stuff. Skyward Sword is probably best for soundtrack. Breath of the Wild also has some absolute hits. But you asked non-video game music. So that changes. I'm a big musical fan, so sometimes I'll go through phases where it's just musical songs, like songs from musicals. Other times it will be 2010s pop because that was my teenage years. As for actual specific songs, I don't have favourites. It's too difficult. There's too much music out there. And my mood changes all the time. If I listen to one song enough, it will no longer be my favourite. That's not good. This is a bad move because I can't put tiles underneath it, which is sad. And makes me sad with it. Arctic Monkeys or Gorillaz, yes. I have listened to some of their songs in the past. Gorillaz, yeah, with a Z. That's what I thought you meant. Yeah. Interesting, interesting. Music's such a wonderful thing just because of how unique it can be for every individual person, right? Individual tastes on there. We can all agree that some songs are good and some songs are bad, but at the end of the day, it's unique to us and it powers emotional states, and to me, it can also power memories. It's very, very amazing. Don't give music enough credit, or at least I didn't when I was younger, so I shall make up for that now. Love a good bit of music. Ooh, the little funny heart thing's doing something. Yeah, Water Temple theme in Tokka. I'd argue that none of the temple themes besides Wind are any good in Tokka. Personally. Yeah, I love it when the champion integration starts though. That's probably the best part of it. When they start to reference the champions, which really did get sidelined for Breath of the Wild, from Tears, sorry, I should say. I've got to be specific. Wind Temple is underrated. I agree. I will admit it is the most divine beast-like of them all, and it is the simplest of the four. But it makes up for an atmosphere. Everything from the climb up there. Oh, don't get me started on the Wind Temple. I love the Wind Temple. It's my favourite temple in the game, if not mechanically, but definitely for atmosphere, its boss fight, and the music. We have to give credit to Kogera's theme. It gets a lot of hype for a reason, but it deserves it. It deserves every bit of it. Kogera's theme is insane. Wind Waker representation too, which I love. Miss Rivali and Daruk, yeah, me too. Not many people miss Rivali. I do though. He was a good character. I also enjoyed his appearances in Age of Calamity, not the DLC. I don't count the DLC for Age of Calamity as canon. It's just a mess. But the main story is fantastic. Zelda Avengers Endgame. Right, okay. That one is done. Did I do anything stupid? No, I didn't. Okay. Right, as I said, we're going to continue this wall up just for a little bit. Yeah, Rivali's one of the most unique characters in that game. Everyone loves Teba, but I never really got it. Maybe I'm just bad, but I couldn't see why people were so fond of Teba in that game. Like how he fights, I could never master it. But Rivali, just spam the fly button. It was always really awesome, and his combos are unique as well. So the fact that they crafted a unique style for him is awesome. It's really unique. The same can be said for some of the others as well, though. I always main King Rome for AOC. I'm not usually a fan of heavies, but he won me over. Tulin does look funny in Breath of the Wild. He definitely had an improvement to his design, but favorite champion to be sure. Sorry, favorite sage to be sure. But he looks awful in Breath of the Wild. It's a little bit of a meme, I guess, as well. His weird face, that one posture that they have of him, where he stares directly upwards, and it's like, that's terrifying. No one ever guessed, I don't think, that Tulin would be what he is, in a sense. But best sage ability too. Put him on the screen, why not? It's going to take me a second, but Tulin, Breath of the Wild. See, it's just going to come up with all the Tears of the Kingdom images now. There it is. There's my favourite image of Tulin. Save. I'll put it in my template folder for drawing figures so I can get jumped next time. Okay, let's make a new... Let's just change this one. Can I edit the properties of that? Yes, I can. And go to... No, I downloaded it in the wrong file format. Oh. I'll get there. Wait, where did I put it? Oh, I put it in my template folder. There it is. I got him. Okay. He's tiny, but... I want to flip him over. Like, there we go. Now he can just watch. That will just be really confusing. I got him though. He's coming through. That's awful. Okay, now that we're being watched by Funny Bird, or you will be any second. Okay, that delay is pretty bad. Yeah, there we go. He's on the screen. Or he's not on the screen. Wow, that is a delayed. That is a real delay. It's just oh no, he's there. Okay, it's my my OBS that's just showing it, not delayed. I had the recording paused. There we go. Okay. Now it's done. I can keep going back to what we were doing. So we now have friend on the screen watching us. Okay, so my goal is to go up here for 3 or 4 rows. Just enough to put the first green plate down, just so we know where it needs to line up to. Along with the wall on the back, we'll do the same thing for the next section too. So where is a too high slope? There it is. It's just ever so slightly too tall. That kills. That hurts. Come on. You want to keep staring at Tulin? See, now look at what you've done, MI Man. You've got him stuck here, so now anybody that comes by, I now have to explain why he's on the screen. Thank you for this wonderful gift of Tulin. But have a good day. See you maybe later. We'll see if we're still here. Those of you still around, welcome on, obviously. If you don't know, maybe now is the time to give us the channel a little subscribe, a little follow, see what's coming up in the future. Lots of exciting things happening. Although I'm working on Castle today, there are 9 Tears of the Kingdom custom sets coming out for the rest of this year, followed by another 9, 18 in total, that are all in development. It's a lot of work, so I appreciate you guys sticking around and being patient. It is coming though, I promise. Okay, next job. So, back on our Goofy guy. Yeah, welcome in. Effie, nice to see you. Tulin is joining us today. He's terrifying. We were talking about our good old Wind Sage earlier, and now we're stuck with him, which is fantastic. I don't regret putting him on screen at all. We're on the castle near the front gatehouse. We're over here on this platform. You can see we're very close now, very close to the front gatehouse. We are walking away from the gatehouse though. We're going to be doing this back wall today and tracing that all the way along this plate here. To start with though, it's time for us to lay some framework. So, how has it been? How's it going? Oh, this is going to be painful, isn't it? Oh. This is unnecessarily difficult. What fun I'm going to have doing this section. Right, let's take the lid off. This is a hollow plate, meaning that I don't have to add a Technic frame to support the weight. I can just do what I like, which in this case is raise everything up by a undetermined amount. Ooh, that's a good point actually. What's going on in there? These are some strange angles. Any questions, of course, drop them in the chat. Let me know what you guys are thinking, playing or doing in the LEGO space. Always interested to hear and share. Especially while we do such monotonous work. It's great fun. Okay. We should probably take Tulin off the screen, to be honest. But I don't know if I can do that to our goofy little guy. Little weird bird. I don't have a Lego Tulin that I can put on there instead, which is a shame. I need to draw Tulin. I've just been drawing Octoroks. That's the sum total of what I've achieved. There we go. Okay, that is the grass level. We have achieved grass. Let me just check the color validator. What do you mean that's not an existing color? What do you mean that one of my main parts isn't available? Where? Oh, it's okay. No need to panic. Silly me. Little mistake. Nothing big. No big deal. Okay, so one of the big things I need to remember to not do is not do any overlap between these two plates. They cannot cross with each other at all, or else they will get stuck together and I will be sad. So, now that I know that that is green level, it's time to fill in the gaps. Epic montage. He's fast at building. Maybe. Just maybe. That's such a bad waste of that piece. He's slow at building and makes mistakes all the time. Woo! That's more like it. And I can do that. Yeah, I have a feeling this is going to look a little on the flat side, probably, when we're finished with it. So, exciting things happening later today. I am heading into the collection, the LEGO collection, to piece together something very important. The Master Sword pedestal custom is finally coming to instruction / real life form. I'm going to be building it this afternoon. Later on this evening in the UK, I suppose, would be the more correct phrasing. Yeah, so the parts are all scattered around my collection, so I've made a list according to Bricklink, and I'm going to go and collect them up. And then I can start building that, which will be awesome, because you guys have waited forever for that. But we've got to get some grinding on this castle. I don't know how long we've been going. Probably not long enough yet. Never long enough, right? Guys would just like it if I just streamed building a castle 24/7. I'm sure that would be incredibly popular, and everybody would love that. Once we reach that point that the commentary starts to die, I'll probably sign off. But we're not there yet, which means you have to listen to me talk for longer. Okay, so I've had this sat over here for like an hour. I never gave my thoughts. We have $14, $19, $29, $39, and $75 that may be Zelda. What do I think they could be? Well, firstly, 14. That sounds suspiciously to me like some sort of very small jewel set. I wouldn't put it past them to be Koga, or a small vehicle, or a jewel with Ganondorf. Some sort of main enemy-based combat something, I would predict. These are all just guesses, of course. I have no idea. They can do what they like. Shocking concept, I know. I'm lost. The next biggest one, that's a little more like a play set. I would hope to see something like a Loftwing. Or just something else that is small based set. I see, it's hard to know because we don't even know whether they'd be basing stuff off all the games or just Tears in Breath of the Wild, because that changes my answers dramatically, right? If so, the smallest one is a Calamity Ganon build. I think is the logical answer. But will they use logic even? We don't know. How smart are they? Basically, I don't have the answers. It's not as simple as I thought. What would anyone like to see, you know? What would we want to see in customs? Not customs, in official way. Dearie me, saying that for the first time. It's crazy. Right, let's just focus up for a second and get this in place. Okay, right, now that my brain can cease functioning, I can probably take Tulin away. I think it's time that we get rid of Tulin. No? If I just, I'll sink him down a little bit so he obscures less of the screen. Good boy. We'll leave Tulin here. Go on, Tulin. Right. Next up, it is time for us to get this row finished. Lots of rock work. See, now you get the idea of how long this kind of stuff takes. So, we did make some progress in the form of we put a new layer on here. I want to get the grass on this plate too, because if we look at the overall master plan, right, this green plate is where I'm edging. I'm edging along this big curve now. And this curve continues over here. It sort of cuts off here. But the reason we've got to put this in is so that we have a platform for the wall above it. Now, this wall is significantly more important. I said that it was important because it links in with what's above it, right? If I bring in a new reference image from the left flank file, where'd it go? Oh, it's hidden all the way over here. Wonderful. Good. Let's take a closer look. Oh, I can't focus. So, we are here on this green plate, and basically there's this huge section that covers like these 6 here over on the left. These big ones here, the green one, they're all the same colours. Basically those ones, that's what I care about. There's a huge area that needs to be plated, and unfortunately we need supports on all sides to do it, so I know how big it is and where the Technic frame needs to stretch through, and how strong and reinforced it needs to be, and so on and so on and so on and so on. So, in order to do that, that is why we are doing the rest of this here. So basically this forms the right hand supports. The left hand supports are already done on the other side. We can always try later on. We could see if I could load up the master file. It might be a little tricky though. There was some cleanup work to do afterwards though, because this plate will have to be updated in its original form because this is a hot mess. Okay, so we're working on leveling this out still, aren't we? I love how I keep getting distracted. It's so much fun to just all the time be confused as to what I'm doing. It's also very slow work when I actually have to think too. But it's fine, we're managing. Okay, so the benefit about doing this is not everything has to be flat at the same level at least, thank goodness. So we can up that by 2 and slide a 1x2 plate lower down. Then we can put that on that like that. Look at that. Nice. See? And then that makes it look less ugly at the top, although it's always going to look a little ugly at the top. That's sort of unavoidable. I wish we still had that 1x2 around there, because now I can do that. And I'm going to put this thing way down, like right down here. Really, there should be plate spaced all the way along this thing. It shouldn't be as flat and boring as it is, but I'm not that smart. I'm really not. Don't know what you guys think I do, but it's chaos. Chaos in my brain. Right, let's do another one of them. Haven't done one of them in a while. See, and then I can check to see, is there a magic thing somewhere in here? And the answer is no, there's nothing magical about this in the slightest. I am going to make the executive decision that that can be unstable so that we get to use the cool part. In fact, I'm going to make the executive decision to use the even cooler part and make it look like this is planned. And yes, I know, it's a stud too high. I can do that occasionally. Not everything has to be flat. Rocks stand upwards, maybe, sometimes. Let's do that. I like how whenever there's a problem with the rock work, it all clumps together and there's like 3 of these cheese slopes which cover up gaps. There are like 3 of them all over the place, like nearby to each other, which just tells you, oh look, something happened here that went wonky. That's how you know. I don't like that though. I want to copy mirror that and bring it in instead, because that looks slightly better. Not by much, but slightly better. We always prefer wedge plate edging because it looks more natural. Oh, this could be interesting. Let's start off with just one of them in the middle. Then we'll add an inverted slope here, followed by, it's incredibly tempting to do that, but we won't. We can make it look natural. We can add a brick. The further this goes, you realise the more monkey sounds I'm going to start making. Like, ooh, ah, ooh, ah. Just pretend it's Tulin. Little goblin. We do love him though, as much as I say he's a goblin. He is. Look at his Breath of the Wild appearance, it sucks. Okay, well I'm going to talk about Zelda music now anyway, because I very much enjoy it. I think it's very cool and they put a lot of thought into it. Best track in Tears is without doubt Kogera. Second is some of the ending pieces. Namely, who takes the win? Who takes it? Oh yeah, the staff roll version of the main theme is awesome. Final Descent is pretty cool. I love Final Descent. It's an awesome scene. Wish I could have experienced that blind. Demon King's Army from the depths, the War in the Depths of Hyrule. Great title, great track, fantastic remix. Full stop. I've got to remember. Sky version of Hyrule Castle, incredibly atmospheric, really awesome. Basically, they really did well with the music. The sage themes for Sidon, Tulin, and Yunobo. Riju does not get the credit because hers is not good, or not as good anyway. Lots of ums. The track I can't name from the end of the game that does have spoilers about Mr. Dorf's final form. I won't say the name just in case someone is watching. Like, I say that, but I'm also happy to say Final Descent, but I have bitterness towards that because I got Final Descent, the name of the track spoiled for me, and then because I'm not an idiot, I was able to work out what that meant. At least not an idiot movie-wise, I'm pretty much an idiot everywhere else. And that doesn't mean you're an idiot if you didn't get what Final Descent meant, or Last Catch, or whatever you want to call it. But I worked it out, and I'm, one, very impressed that my brain could handle such information, but two, I wish I didn't know. It would have been so cool. Been messing around with the Kilton dioramas again. Specifically with the with poses. I like it when they do the funny things, like the funny poses. So I have been I got a good one of Muck to Rock, which I thought was funny. My only motivation behind certain pictures. It's just like, ha ha ha, that's funny. So I had one of, ideally I wanted to get one of him jumping back into the shark, but I thought that'd be really difficult to achieve. I might try again in the depths battles, whenever I fight him again. It was a cool fight though, incredibly difficult in his second phase to hit him. But you know, we wouldn't want the game to be easy or anything. I thought that was a slope. Question is, why isn't it just a normal slope? Because it makes zero difference. I don't know why I've made that a special piece, because look underneath. It's redundant. I can just change that to a 1x2 and it makes zero difference. Oh well, I'll leave it because I guess it's a small Easter egg now that Octane put the weird piece in there for no reason. Okay, up by 1. Add a plate underneath to balance it all out. Because I'm trying to keep the plates away from each other to make it less even. But that means we can use this here. And then come around the other side and see what what can be done. Oh, it's another fantastic opportunity to actually do something proper. So, because there was already a plate there, because it was uneven, I get to work with some magic and get to do something a little different. So, let's turn that upside down. We can add just, probably just, we've got enough plate work, so I think it should just be a 1x3 slope, like immediately. Ah, no, 1x2. 1x2 slope, like that. And then we'll add a 1x2 plate over here. See, something a little different to help add some variety. Oh, gotta rebalance. I have 2 o'clock already. Today's gone super fast. Can't believe it. Are we close? It seems like we're getting close. Now we're going to come into a slight problem, where I don't really know what's happening on the other side of this plate. Now this red thing, it's a marker. It tells me that something's going on in the plate next door. I mean, I could have told you that. But what is the letter that comes before R? I'm not expecting someone to answer that. A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, O, P, Q, R. I bet I'm gonna get tricked. Yep, knew it. I got tricked. This is the one that I've got to change later. Thrilling. By the way, R's the middle one. I've made a new one today. Is there an S? No, there's an A, B. Am I just gonna like blindly hope that that is certainly not it. I'm just opening random files now because I don't know. J? Also, still the wrong one, although this is a pretty cool one. Open. We've done B, we've tried K. Oh, we haven't tried K. Let's try K. No, K is also redundant. Fantastic. I'm so good at this. Let's close all those down because we don't need them. Open Z. Ah, Z and I. Together forever, for some reason. Shockingly, this isn't it either. IJ. Okay, J is what we're looking for. AJ. Oh, they were. It was right there, staring me in the face. No, it's not this one either. Come on. I clicked on that before. Am I just dumb? A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K. No, I need a lower letter. I need, like, before Q. P. Do we have P? Correction, we have no P. That just sounds wrong. C. Let's try EXTC. Now, that makes no sense alphabetically, but I promise you it's the one I was looking for. Okay. So, all I wanted to do was Control-C that, close them all down, and that one, and then paste it in, just to see if we were going to create problems for ourselves. And I'm going to have to move this wall out the way that I made. Right. So remember, I don't even want to keep this here, but no, do not you dare copy and mirror, you silly little creature. Ah, there we go. Right, lined up like a puzzle piece. Once I remembered what I was doing. And that's not helpful at all. Nice, because this is actually also part of the same thing. So, guess which one Octane needed? It was the one we already loaded. Yay. It was this one. No. Yeah, no, yeah, this is actually it. This is the one I was looking for. Yeah, okay. I don't want all of it. I just want that. I want to come back over here. Notice how I saved the file we're working in just before I started messing around, just in case things went wrong. Oh, please don't be weird. Thank you. No, I nearly pressed copy and mirror again. Been using copy and mirror a lot more nowadays. It's a great feature for speed in Studio. Underrated, heavily underrated. Okay, so like, what is this? Just need a quick, a temporary conjoiner. So I can slide that in there. Okay, and we can see what's going on. So again, it's all at the same level, so it doesn't matter too much what I do. Wait, am I a fool? Okay, back to the science table. Let me load in a new reference image. I think I may have been foolish. Let us stare at the new image. Yeah, okay. It's not a good look. Not a good look at all. I'm thinking, bear with me. Yeah, okay, it's all tiled for a reason. And it's tiled because when we look at all four of them together, no, still opening the wrong one. When we look at all of them together, something silly is going on. Yeah. Okay, but there's interior, largely. Or is there? Could you reckon I can get away with that? No, I tiled it off for a reason. I'm just going to stop being dumb and just change the plan. Okay, so my fine self had the right idea originally. So we're going to make a retcon. Octane, what's a retcon? You will see very quickly. A retcon is going to involve me stealing... Actually, no. It is just going to involve me point blank selecting all of that. And you're like, no, our progress, it's gone. Nope. Because we go over to Q, which is the master file for this specific one, and we control C, we come back over, and we paste. Now, I have made one adjustment to the master file, and that is these two little fellas. So these two need to be copied over and updated over here, just so that they're the same. It's hard to keep track of all these minute changes, but these two are supposed to be in there. They are the tooth pegs which help me to connect things. Then we can save that and delete it. So, what is important about this is, why have I gone back to exactly where I was like 10 minutes, no, more like half an hour ago. It needs to be a Technic frame. Oh, the pain. Oh, it's so cold. I don't like it when this happens. I knew there was a reason that I made that change. I didn't make that change, I should say. I should have known that every other plate is using the old system. Oh, no. Oh, well. It's not the biggest time loss I've ever taken in this project. I believe that honour goes to the time that I rotated the water pump room by 45 degrees for questionable motivations. And by that I just mean, did it really need to be done? Probably not. And now there's a record of that, meaning everyone now understands why the castle is so difficult. It wouldn't be an Octane project if it wasn't ridiculously challenging. Kills though. It's a motivation killer. Oh well. See, just stuff like this isn't helpful to anybody, so let's just change that. Because like that comes out so far, it's just ruining any sensible plans I'd made. Let's put a 4x tile on it. Like so. Theoretically, this one's supposed to join up with this one, but they're both going to be separate removable plates now, I guess. So we'll leave that there as a DBG plate. Dark bluish grey. There's some weird stuff going on here. I don't know why it's been designed to be just such the awkward shape for no apparent reason. Okay, so let's put that on there. No, it's way too steep an angle. Way too steep. Let's put that on there then instead. Why did that not trigger collision settings? That terrifies me. Because if that's not triggering collision on like anything, that's a big concern. Does this exist? This is a part I don't use very often. Does it exist in... No, it doesn't exist in dark bluish grey. It cannot be used. Yay! See, I have the issue where... Like, why is that not triggering collision detectors? I don't understand the system. It's confusing. Maybe a 1x4 would be better, actually. Yeah, I think on a 1x4 is going to work better here. I'm trying to skip corners. I'm trying to make it easier for myself, and in the process I'm making it significantly harder because I'm using parts that are just too big and don't cover the angles in the way I want them to. Does that yeah, okay, that detects collision. Weirdly. See, I like that. That's a good angle. It just leaves us with this weird gap here, so I guess I'll just fill that with a 1x2 plate. And then drop it down. Oh. No, go. Why? I love Studio sometimes when it makes smart decisions. It's fantastic. Okay, let's reel in the bitterness though. That's enough. Okay, so now that we're on attempt 2 of the plan, things should move a lot smoother. I don't love that either. So you just have to trial out different things, just as you would in a real parts collection. And then we get to do my favourite thing to do, besides rockwork, my favourite thing to do in all of the castle project as a whole. The best thing. Rockwork is obviously my favourite. If you don't know, I'm being sarcastic. My next most favouriteest thing is Technic frames. And we get to do a Technic frame! Woo! My favourite thing in the world. That's so bad. So bad. Well, this does do one thing. It really does show how long some of this stuff takes. I'm pleased that at least we now have a real-time document for the castle. Like, it took this many hours to achieve this minute, simple detail. And then I won't touch it again for 4 months. No, I'm joking. Now, I need to finish editing for tomorrow at some point today. So, at some point I have to relinquish my joy for Technic frames and go edit. But that is not quite now. So, the next thing to do, it's going to be roughly a square. So let's add some of the fun stuff in. Brick modifieds. Except for brick modifieds with giant Technic pin. Where are they? So we're going to make these face inwards at regular occurrences. And then we make the rest of it attempt to look like a rock, which is more difficult than anticipated. That's why I left 4 spaced gaps and even spaced gaps, except for on the end because I'm an idiot. But then I can actually try and trick myself by using a real rock. Whoa. And then we use snot, which stands, of course, for studs not on top. And a relatively simple group of parts, really. I'll make that one smaller. The closer it follows the line, the better, but ideally it's just supposed to be a rough little sandwich. A little sandwich. Sometimes I use smooth ones, you know, mix up the texturing a little. But none of it really matters because at the end of the day, what I put on the top is completely my choice, right? So I can do that or not because that would be actually abysmal. I can put that on there though. Like that, that's better. And then on this one, because we don't want to be just seen as spamming the exact same thing over and over again and leading to repetition, we're going to make a quick outwards play, and then we're going to grab the forelong one and make a really long slope over there. Wow. As you can tell, I've done this before. Regularly. Now that we have our outline, actually, I am going to select by color. And that was a mistake. That was a big mistake. We're going to select them by hand. And then once I've got my entire frame, we're going to drag it on over somewhere else just to work on it easier and not floating. And just safer, really, you know, just slightly less awkward. We'll bring it back on to test it. I don't worry, I haven't forgotten about the part where I make it the wrong size and then I have to fix it. And then once we finish this frame, we'll call it quits for today. Because if we hadn't have had the large-scale disaster, we would have gotten a lot further and we probably would have put some more walls up. But you lose about an hour of motivation every time that happens, and it happens a lot, so it doesn't happen that much. I should stop exaggerating, really. Let's make that green. Why not? Might as well start the verge. In fact, we'll really start the verge. We'll do a different kind of technique over here. In fact, the different technique is just to bring that in by one. Whoa! No, that won't work actually. There we go, that's better. Then that can go around the corner, which is what I want. Okay, so here we've got a little more space and the Technic frames won't start here, so we'll be able to do something a little different in the form of different pieces. Here we can make it go directly straight up using a 1x2 thingamabob. We've also got to quickly fill in this space here using... No, okay. We'll leave this one for now. We'll just put a big brick inside. We'll make that dark bluish grey. Make these green on the top for the verge. We'll make that grey as well, just in case for some reason it decides to shine through. Who knows, to be honest? No one really does. Next wedge will be 3 long. Like that. And then I want to go back and use some different parts, so we're going to come back down to the wedge section. Instead of going into wedge plates, I have one in mind over you. Don't know why I just suddenly thought of this part, but I did. Don't think I've used it anywhere else in the model. Fantastic. There we go, that's nice and lined up now. I have to be careful here that they're all connected to the frame nice and securely, because obviously these here, they're not connected at all, which is risky to be sure. Okay, let's keep going with this outline, because once the outline's done, we just get to top it in grass, and it's so much easier. So much easier once we get past this initial part. I often like using those to break up the walls. I've also forgotten about the framing, so let's go get the frames. That's also equally as important. We're going to need pins too, so let's get the friction pins first. But we also want the big ones, which is what I use for most of my framing. Obviously, I have no idea whether this will actually change in the final thing or not. That's just impossible to know at this point. we'll leave a little bit of an overhang because it's going into sort of the middle of nowhere, so it doesn't matter too much. We'll leave a gap as well for bigger parts, like that, to join things together. And we use pins for pretty much everything else. So I like to keep these as square as possible because it's easier to work on a grid. So that's pretty good actually, because I can just slide that over and then it's actually got a little bit of extra support. You'll notice that just like everything else, my frames will all stay in the pink colour, despite them not being available. That's just to show they can come in literally every colour. It does not matter. Let's use another one of these, because why not? No, never mind. I've changed my mind almost instantly. I'll put one here though. I'll put that like that. Okay, need to fill in this gap here. Should probably be filling it with one of these though. Then we can use the other most useful technique in this model, once I correct a small error, which is the plate and tile combination. It involves putting one plate down and then a 1x1 tile. Makes every flat surface more interesting. By a little bit, not by much. Oh, I forgot to make those pins black. That's important. And then obviously you're like, whoa, this is too far away from the frame. How am I going to fix this? Well, we're supposed to be using other Technic bricks as support beams too. So we shall bring in the long ones. Sometimes I don't use all long ones because they're not as cost efficient sometimes, but like, why am I thinking about cost efficiency in this kind of project? At least at this stage, like, it's not relevant at all. Okay, and then we put another beam in here. We use the good old double beam technique that I'm sure you've all heard of and studied in school. Let's put that there. Good. It's lining up very slowly, but it is indeed doing its job. So I'll put that there, and we'll just do a little small extension beam here. So we'll just put that there, and put 2 Technic pins in either side just so it has the strength. And you could continue on that way, but we won't. We won't. Look at that, it's almost there. The frame is almost complete. That just came together actually quite quickly. I'm actually surprised. See what happens when you stop thinking about it. It just sort of all comes into place. We need to get some slopes though. Let's get some 1x2. No, actually we use the 2x2 here to fill in the gaps. We use the 1x1 as an offset. A 3er. And then for here, we will use the technique we used around the corner. Like to keep it varied. We'll put that on the join like that, and then use the 1x4 plate here. And that will mirror the shape just nicely, actually. Okay, final stretch. Might as well put another one of those on here because there's no need not to. And then we use the same technique that we just used. The same thing. But with a smaller size, because otherwise it will be way too big. And no bueno. Sometimes if the frames get close to the edges, say it was like an inverted curve, we'll also use the Technic pinholes in the frames. I've done that before. I say that like it's a crazy thing, but no. It does the job. Surprising amount of errors I've found as I've gone along here though. I've just been correcting them as we go. I haven't really brought attention to them, but they're there. Problems that had to be fixed by me seeing them. And for this one, I don't really want to use a whole brick or slope, so we'll just stack some plates and it will just make it look more three-dimensional. Regardless, it also gives us some more studs to use if I want to stick something on there. So let's put that in there like that. Good. Okay, now we do still need a frame along the rest of this. So, we've got to see, we've got this weird offset now that I'm gonna try and get rid of by using the bigger, what's it called? These things, the bigger connector pins, like so, so that, nope, it did not work. Nice. Absolutely amazing. Fantastic job, Octane. Well done. We will continue to have this at an offset because I said so. But it will be nice and strong. Well, as strong as I can theoretically promise about a model I can't test in real life. And yes, I know Studio has a stability feature. It doesn't change anything. I still can't trust it. There's no idea if Studio is right or not. It's like, yep, looks stable to me. I'm like, no, it's not. That's not stable. Studio is confused sometimes. Okay, and then, oh no, I'm moving panels by accident. Sometimes we use another brick in here, which is the corner beam. So if I use, yeah, maybe the Goofy, the bird in the bottom right corner. Tulin is here to stay today. He's our little, not a mascot, but we were talking about him earlier, and we've decided to bring him along for the ride. We could put Goofy there instead, or we can change him out. He's been there for long enough now that I think we could move him. So I had the logo in there, but we've moved that now. Right, corner piece, also in pink. I know pink's not the real colour, but it works. This system is foolproof. Okay, more Technic beams going across the gap. Is that a big enough space? Have I messed up? No, I haven't, surprisingly. Yeah, really should move Tulin. Really should take him away. He's had enough outside time for one day. Okay, so the brilliant thing about this is that this will lock everything into a square. Or at least that's my hope. Or the hope of me for Octane in 10 years, whenever he has to try and work this out. But for now, I just get to build it and laugh as if this isn't also my problem. Nice. Okay, so just fill in the gaps. Roughly, give or take. Doesn't have to be perfect. Let's put 2 in there, and then 2 in there. That's not sat in properly. It keeps doing that, actually. That's going to be a problem if they don't fix that bug soon. Okay, we have a square grid, so let's just make it a little more green. Let's just add a couple more of those wedge plates in around the edge. Added security, added confidence. I think we go for a 4-way. Hello everybody and welcome back to another stream. 2 days in a row. Good afternoon, Brick Wizard Studios. How are we today? This afternoon? This evening? One time zone ahead. You're heading towards evening faster and faster. As we speak, the day whistles away. If you couldn't tell, the castle is sending me slightly insane. We are making a frame I've neglected the castle for like 20 minutes, but we're here on my newly planted map that I can now do in studio. Still excited about this. We are here. Front gatehouse, front of the castle is right here. We're very, very close to the front and having a sort of outer path for a half shell of a castle. What have I done for the last half an hour? Well, I made a mistake. I made a big mistake. I wasted about half an hour on an error that we made. That I made. I should claim credit for my actions. I did a silly mistake. And it has not put us behind, because there is no such thing as behind on a project of this size, but it has wrecked my plan for the stream. I wanted to get a lot further. We have failed in that mission. I have failed in that mission. I need to stop putting the blame on you guys. It's bad showmanship. But once this is greenified, we can actually add it back onto the main model, and hopefully it will just look shockingly different, and I'll be able to... Why does Tulin... Yeah, Tulin does sort of look like Edward from Twilight while he's watching the girl asleep. Okay, I think it's time we change him. Someone give me a suggestion. Who's next? One of the figures, maybe? I'll put someone up for now. Let's put someone related up to the castle. I'll put Steward up. Nah. Let's go for... While you guys suggest something, let me just put an Octorok up. Seeing as I've been working on them. Where'd he go? Oh, he's huge. I think. Oh, yeah, no, he's huge. He's huge. Doom. As in Doom Guy? Oh, no. I shrunk him down. Our latest edition. Okay. Back to work. Okay, this is not working. This is slow, to say the least. Not how I expected this to go. Well, I should have known better. This is always how the castle goes. And this is, we wonder why I don't do more of the castle at any one time. The castle proves problematic. I stop doing the castle for a little bit. Then we come back to the castle. We go from there. Just woke up while you're building. We are doing the... How do I phrase it? We're doing the roof for the west passage of the Breath of the Wild minifigure scale Hyrule Castle, which explains why everything's so big. So it's a subsection of a section of the west passage. Here's the west passage. There's a door on my big map over here. This is the front of the castle. The door is where you go in. And then the path comes up above you. And then this is like the first thing you see. And it's the west passage. I don't have any maps of the castle. Hold on. I shall import a new image. Because I can do that now. You remember, I'm still gonna do it. Because I love this new feature. There we go. Oh no, that's wrong. Like it that. So this is the Breath of the Wild castle map. If you come in the front gate, you'd go up this path. We are building this tiny ledge down here. The little thing in the corner here. That's what we're doing. It's actually time to add it on though, which is kind of exciting. I've just got to fill in this last little gap. Once it's green, it can go on. Why do you have to be problematic like that? That is frustrating. Oh well, there's going to be a hole in it for the time being, because I am not fixing that. Oh, turns out I am fixing it, because I just deleted the part that was in the way. Cool. I shall fix the hole. Perfect. Okay, that wasn't too bad. Now that it's square, I can use the big ones. So, 8x8, let's go. I have no idea how one person would acquire so many of these 8x8 plates. I don't like to think about future Octane problems, as we've previously discussed. That is a problem for if the day actually ever comes. To be honest, I would settle for seeing this as a completed render. I would be happy and I would move on with my life if I could see the castle semi-complete. Do I need to see it complete? I don't know. I could live. I'd love to see it. It's a big undertaking, though. Oh, this is an odd number. Let's do that. Yeah, okay. How to solve your problems creatively. Move your problems across the board. Life advice from Uncle Octane. I'm taking that name now. Thank you, Brick Wizard Studios, for the insight yesterday. 2x8 plate. And then the same thing over here. A 1x12 on the furthest out part. And then another 1x12 to fill in the gap. Because 2 12s are 24. This teaches you maths fast. I'm not joking. You develop maths if you use Studio regularly. Angles, dividing things fast, counting in half plate measurements. Okay, look at that slab of terrain. That just looked like a mock base just right there. Look at that. It's crazy. That's just another one. That's quite small actually as well. Let's grab this then, and let's do the fun part. Well, the not so fun part, depends on who you ask. That looks... I can't tell if it's... No, it's not in alignment. No shot. No shot. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There we go. That looks a little better. Yeah, okay. Okay. This section has a roof. Yay! As a roof, it's not finished, unfortunately. This particular plate has to go around the corner. So, we have a decision to make. We need to finish both of them, realistically. I mean, R is doing okay. R is fine right now. I think, firstly, I would like a copy of that on here. My height measuring stick. Thank you, Brick Wizard Studios. I appreciate you telling me that it looks nice. I like it too. It's very flat, I know. That will improve once we add trees and paths and like use this area for something. Yeah. I want to... This plate needs to be finished. Realistically, I want to have it done. I don't want to stare at it anymore. One thing I should do while we're here, because I've left this Technic Edge exposed for a reason, so as I said, it's going to get bigger. One thing I need to do is... Okay, put it up like this, and we need to continue this line, because this line is supposed to curve around the edge of this plate, so we need to mark it. It's not supposed to go very far into the plate though, I believe. We can check our source material for that though. Yeah, over here in this green picture, you can see, oh, this very small slice, isn't it? It's a curve, slow curve I should say, that goes down and takes up very little of the whole plate. Perfect. So that is the wall direction. So we're going to take this, this, and we're going to Control X. We're going to save. And we're going to open a newer plate. We're going to open something that we've already finished a while ago. We've got to bring some bits together. We've got to see how everything's going to work. So it's going to be a little confusing for just a sec. Let's leave that over there. So this is one of the things we're going to work with. We're going to open Q2, which is the original version of what we were just working on, and bring that into K. Because we're modifying AK into something else. So I believe and if I select everything on that. Oh no, I didn't get it all. It's time to bring all of the magic together. That's what I'm effectively doing. But I'm not doing it for fun. I'm doing it so we can finish this frame. Okay. Now let's put the roof back on. This time, I'll make sure I select the back one when I put it on the plate here. And actually, we can turn that plate into dark bluish grey too. Cool, okay. So we've got one direction. Now let's close that. And let us open up the other plates that we need, which would be AA0. I know this makes 0 sense. This is one of them. So same thing, copy it in. Good. Maybe it in a submodel might make things easier. And then let's connect that to there. Okay. So the passages behind are coming together. Now you can see what has to happen with our cover. It doesn't have to go super far, but it does have to go across. And we also still need one more plate. We need the one that goes to the left, which I believe is this one, Z0 and AI. The naming is incredibly confusing. Yeah, this is it. This isn't lava, there's another one. Oh, fun. See, I should have had this file set up readily so I didn't have to do this on stream. But that's okay. We'll live. We'll survive. Get to see a whole look at the West Passage today, and let's just hope I don't get tanked out by this. It shouldn't be too big. It's only the one surrounding the plate that we need to be building so that I can add an edging. Oh, that's our first crash. Or near crash, I should say. Or our first not responding. It's a sign the file is getting bigger. You can also hear my fan on the computer start to kick into gear. One last file. EXTC. This is it. Last one. Going in to the model. Well, temporary model. This will only last a week, maybe. Maybe while we film, maybe not. We'll see. The goal is literally just for us to use it as a map. As is probably becoming more apparent. Again, The ones that we're going to delete nice and quickly we'll put into submodels because it will speed things up. And I love it when it's a water plate because it has a jigsaw puzzle edge to squeeze everything together. So you can see the rail cart track goes all the way through. So this is that one part of the castle where the coaster track comes outside, or the minecart track does come outside. And what we need to do, just like was in our reference material back in the previous file, is we've got to bring that plate all the way around the edge and into enough of the one behind it so that we can build this indent. To me, looks to be about a third in. However, it's all going to need to have roofs eventually, so I don't really care how far in it goes, as long as it goes in far enough. Now, before we get started, I don't want to delete or overwrite what was originally AK0, so we need to give this plate its name. Its name is related to this thing here, the one that it's actually going to be, well, that's going to be left when we're done with this process. So this one is above A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, P, Q, R, Q. So this is Q1. Fantastic. Okay, so we're going to rename this file. Q1. There we go. Okay. Technic frame. Technic frame. Technic frame. So let me just put a temp piece down in there to get the first ones laid in. And we're going to start with a 2x8 plate in this crevice. Delete the temporary support. And then we can get going. Time to use the wedges. Well, come on in. As you can see, things have changed a little since earlier on today. We're adding on a roof to the whole area. We're finally on track with what I wanted to be doing. I didn't realise this was where I was going to end up today, back underneath here. But this thing needs a roof. Got to do it somehow. Now, editing stuff that we animated yesterday. Fantastic, Brick Wizard. Nice to hear. Is it going well? Always the question. Or are you facing setbacks and troubles? Trials and tribulations. I like to say words. Sometimes I should just pay more attention to what I'm saying, really. Okay. Perfect. Not really. As is always the case, as is always the case. So if I'm correct, then, if you just woke up and you're somewhere near Austria, that means you didn't wake up until like 3 p.m? Which is a little much like a, whoa, that's a bit strange. Not strange, but yes. Which means the question is, how late were you up last night? Animating. Party was until 6 a.m. Wow. Not animating then. Very cool, very cool. Nice to see other things happening. I'm sure it was a lot of fun. It's going to be a very short day for you then, I feel. This is not working. Not animating indeed, yes. Clearly. Good times, good times. Okay. I zoom out and I am shocked by how little we've done. We'll see, but at some point you have to move. Yeah, but isn't it easier to get back to your normal... it depends on what your daily routine is, but for me it would be a case of go to bed earlier tonight, and then that would allow me to wake up at my normal time tomorrow, and then I'd be back on my normal routine. But it depends what your normal routine is, how late you normally stay up, what kind of commitments are coming up, whether you've got school, which you don't, but... and so on. Also, who am I to judge? Just some random person on the internet. Okay. It's curving. I like this piece of rockwork here, this inverted section. There's not much like it, so it's very refreshing instead of point blank flat wall. It's very cool. Let's just... Why not? Let's just keep that flat. Move 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then down 2. You learn the measurements between different pieces. The railroads, yes, look, I'll come back down. So, this is the mining tracks that appear in both games. The one on the west side, haven't done the east one yet. It starts all the way in here, in the Decayed Guardian room. Traces all the way outside. Comes out for a little bit, which you may or may not remember from the game. Comes up through this cave over here. Goes up a little hill. Round the corner. And then back down to the end of the West Passage, which is where we were when we started this stream. Now we're in the process of covering up. Now the reason that I made a mistake earlier was because I tried to build the roofs in directly. But the reason we're building them on Technic frames is so that they're removable. And the reason that they're removable is so that you can, well, access them, because it's kind of crazy. You can't see this part because obviously there's an overhang, but you can see it from outside, so it doesn't matter. I love this view. In fact, I think I have a render that I did of it. There wouldn't be much point in me putting it up right now because, well, it would just be very confusing. But it is there. I did do a render of it. Once we finish the frame here, this whole section up until probably about this deep here, this sort of line along here, will be completely covered. And then there'll be a wall up in front and then another view on that. But I'm glad you like them. I've spent a lot of time with the railroads, in particular the railroads. More so than other areas of the castle, just to make sure I got them right. Because I really wanted it to be with the moving rail track. Like the Lego system that they use for trains. Because I wanted to be able to push a cart along them. Because despite being completely pointless in a giant display model like this, I still thought it was cool and a worthwhile inclusion. Also, it's one of the easier ways to represent that kind of track. I don't know about you, but I can't really think of any parts that would be able to sort of get across what I'm looking at, or like what I wanted to see. I've made a mistake, I think. Is it just off by one? Okay, it's a bit weird. Something fishy is going on. Oh yeah, it's just these. Okay. Something was off by a fifth of a stud. Measurements. As I said, you learn a lot of maths doing this kind of thing. Well, not learn it, obviously I already knew it, but you get my point. You're refreshed on it. A lot of it comes up quite regularly, and you'd be surprised. So, for those of you out there that want to be Lego designers, if you hate maths, not the job for you. So much maths. And that is true across the company as well. I'm not saying that just to immediately paralyze you all with fear. It's true across the whole of the Lego-based job. Okay, what do I do in here again? I don't remember what this frame looks like. I know I did it like 5 minutes ago and I should really know better, but like I don't remember at all. Let's just leave that visible for the time being. Okay, so we can make use of a couple of parts to get around this corner, okay, but largely I think I want to keep the superstructure the same and build it around that point. So we'll put a grey plate down in there for now. We'll also turn that into dark bluish grey. It's going to be a lot harder to see what's going on this time, but we'll make it work. What we're going to do is we're going to come in here and we're going to copy this row here, like this central structure. Control C, then we're going to come out of the submodel because for now I want them to be accessible. And we're just going to have to hope that I achieve my goal of sliding. Get in the hole. I command you, get in the peg hole. Too many things for it to latch onto, but it's working. Just about. Okay, that's still not... maybe it's pretty close. It's probably almost far back enough to where we could do a cap off, but what we'll do is we'll do one more row using technique pins, so a little bit closer together. Because the back part's the easy part, right, where it's nice and square. That's always nice and simple. So we'll start there, and then we'll do the integration with the edge first, given that we've technically already started. So we'll put pins all the way along here, and colour them in correctly. Hundreds of thousands of black Technic pins. It's one of the most common elements due to Technic, of course. Then we're going to grab the pins. We'll put that there, and that there, and we'll still use the one gap. Oh, hiccups for now. And we'll continue these frames all the way over. Now I'm hoping everything in the West Passage is the same height. Meaning this will be much easier. By the way, if you're curious, my internal monologue, i.e. if I talk this much when I'm building normally, is yes. I'm always complaining. Okay, that feels pretty secure, or it will do soon enough anyway. Oh, that's in the wrong slot. Can make that a little easier. There we go. Okay. So this frame is spiderwebbing rapidly across the entire project, which is good. That's what we want. We want to be done. Not to end the stream, but we want this done. It dragging on forever is not ideal for anybody, but it also does mean the end of the stream is coming a little closer. But as I said, I have important Master Ball Sword pedestal pieces to go and collect, so it shouldn't be seen as a bad thing. I'm going to do more stuff for videos. But I'm pleased that I've been able to make some progress. Some limited progress on the castle today. It's something, you know, every little bit counts. This will be a huge area of frame added. And the last, well, penultimate pre-step before I can do the big frame that stretches across like 5 plates along the west side, which is been the goal on my castle tick sheet for a year? Longer? Some crazy amount of time that it should have been done. But hadn't been, because it was such a big task and I needed to work all the way along it so I knew the exact sizes. And I still technically only know 3 of the 4 sizes, which is a little worrying. Oh no, we have a problem. Slight problem, not a big problem. It can be fixed. Yeah, cool. Oh no! I moved the whole wall. Disaster is a word that comes to mind. Okay. Nice. I think that's working. It's very hard to explain what I'm trying to do. But the castle, it's progressing. We're getting much closer to this frame being done. We just got to fill in these gaps and make it look pretty now. A real challenge. The prettiness is certainly difficult. Does this exist in dark bluish grey? Nope, it doesn't. Fantastic. Great, which means I have to cover up the entire thing. Which I will do gratefully using brick. Solid brick. It can just be completely straight and completely hidden and look really, really bad from every other angle, because why not? Actually, okay, change the plan. We'll make it light bluish grey. Okay, I'll compromise with you. I'll compromise. And we'll put friction pins in here. My new favourite technique element. Half friction pins, which don't spin around as you go. It's really awesome. And then we can use this here. Okay, now I also still need to add more emergency supports, so to the frame, to the edging, if that makes sense. So we're going to take the bricks with pins and we're going to attach them to both here, and I put a pin in this hole like an idiot, but we're going to take that back out and put those on there. And rapidly you will see that the only coloured area still visible, or that isn't grey from the outside, is going to be that little slither under there, which I don't mind. I'm fine with that. I can make my peace with that element being there. The sentence fell apart very quickly. Oh dear. Okay, let's finish this. Plate on there. Big brick there. Bigger brick there. And then once this frame's done, it is just a case of immediately, all those plates that we spent like 5-10 minutes importing, we can just delete those like immediately. This is not their file. They have other homes. They belong elsewhere. But first we have to finish the job. Okay, more Technic frames, more Technic frames. This is by far the most tedious part of Castle. Like, every Castle episode involves frames on some level, and I cut it all because it just sucks. It's the necessary evil that gets us the cool rooms, because all of the rooms need roofs. Every part of this castle has to be enclosed, but instead of hiding all my hard work, I thought, what if we made removable lids? It would make the castle easier to store and transport. But you don't need to transport something that's in the digital realm, do you? Maybe one day. Who knows? It will cost so much money. But maybe one day this castle will be a real model. At the rate I'm going, it will be a decade before it's finished. But let's hope that I speed up the higher the castle gets. You know, like if I wasn't still at water level, maybe I'd go faster. I believe. I believe, chat. I have hope that maybe one day it will get there. Let's put that there. And then we'll use our favorite piece to support it. I like doing it this way more because building the supports this way allows me to sort of have a better guesstimation of what's coming. Like it forces me to fill the gaps second rather than make the edging and then make the framework. I think this is the more logical way, dare I say. But then again, I did just do whatever that is. You know what? I don't think it's a problem. I'm going to pretend it's not a problem. Actually, no, I can't live with it. I thought I could live with that gap, but I just know it's going to upset me every time I look at the model. So let's just put the bigger one in and close up the gap. Fine. Fine. I'll fix it. Don't worry. I promise that this castle will contain every room featured in Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom. No, I will not make it float. It'd be insane. Yeah. I'm looking forward to Zelda's room and the peak of the castle towers one day. I am dreading Zelda's room, I'll be honest. The peaks, and I can agree, I'm looking forward to the topping. To be fair, we're not that far away from the base of Zelda's tower at all. Like, it's on my plans. That doesn't mean it's close by, but it is on the documents that I use. So I can see the bottom of it. I'm scared. The reason I'm dreading it, hexagons. That's the reason. That tower is a hexagon, and hexagons are notorious. Well, not circles are the worst shape to do in Lego, but for me, hexagons pretty close second. They're really difficult, but I'm gonna try my best. It's gonna look great when I'm done with it after probably, what do you reckon, like 5 iterations or something. It's going to take me like 7 attempts or something stupid, but I will do it. As I said, I'm way too deep in. We're past the point of sunk cost fallacy already. It feels like we've barely started. Yeah, notorious to build within Lego hexagons. Yeah, it's a slight over exaggeration because I'd say that circles are more so infamous with Lego, but all the same. Especially for the floors in the castle. Yeah. I'm not worried about the carpeted floors. I have a plan for like there's loads of staircase corridors which just go up and down in a curve. Shockingly not worried about those, which is weird. I think the 1x2 rounded plate will save us for those. However, the ones I'm worried about is the sanctum floor specifically. There's a lot more tiles than there used to be for angles, so maybe we can use the newer wedge cut plates and stuff. They would provide potentially useful. If not, it's going to be snot, and I'm just going to try my best. But there'll be entirely new parts released before we get there, so I'm trying not to think about the problems too much and just focus on the actual model, because that's what I can control. And you know what? I'm pretty happy. I joke about it, right? I joke about how slow it is and everything else, but I'm really happy with the fact of how fast we're going. Including the big throne room from Age of Calamity in the middle. Yes, I am. I'm going to be including the Great Hall. My goal is for all of the the rooms you can't access in Breath of the Wild, I want them to be accessible in this model because this is pre-Calamity, right? So it makes sense. So that one will be included. I mentioned earlier about the royal family escape passage from both Age of Calamity and then the unique one that appears in Tears of the Kingdom as well. I want both of them in there. I want the Forgotten Foundations, the last area from Tears, to be present too, because that was there under that castle, or at least a reference to it. And I want the room where you fight Ganon in Breath of the Wild, or Calamity Ganon. I want that to be in there too. So ideally everything, including there are other doors which you can't go through in either game, and I want those to be explorable too. So the goal is for all of it. I'm looking forward to the AOC room in particular because it's going to fill up a nice big space on the middle ground floor. Except for it's not on the ground floor; it's on like the first floor. So I've got a while to go because it's weirdly positioned, but it starts about like this height. Like you see where this comes up to. This is probably like the lowest point of that room, but obviously like all the way over here in the middle. So I'll probably do it whenever I build the what's it called, like the observation room, is it? The one that's that front balcony on the castle. I don't think it's called like the observatory, but it might be. It's actually where the entrance to the royal family secret passage is as well, so it's kind of ironic that they're really close to each other. Okay, tiling time. Not tiling time. Plate time on the top. We can finally cover this all in. I should start with the edge though, because that's the more difficult part. And trace along the edge. But yes, every room in the castle that you can think of should be here, including some extra ones that we don't even know what they are in the thing. Also the ones from Creating a Champion as well, from the book. Those will be present. Largely as accurate as I can get them, but they'll be there. Stuff like the square staircase room, which we recently actually located. We finally found out where it connects to. It's just weird because I thought it was just a guard's chamber, but it isn't. It's just the actual square spiral staircase. We just couldn't see it. Yeah, or it was redesigned, I believe. But I'll be including the original version from the concept art because it's so much cooler than what's there now. I just literally couldn't even recognise it. It's so different with all of the sludge everywhere. Simultaneously, Tears has been a great gift for adding stuff and giving me more castle references to make out, because there are actually a couple of passageways that either have just been made more visible thanks to the new map system. The new map is so much better, so much more useful for what I'm trying to do. But beyond that, even it's just good to get in-game screenshots on the Switch, because I couldn't do that on my Wii U copy of Breath of the Wild. So it's just much easier to get references. Obviously, the ones you see me using in the background, they're not open in this file. The ones I was using earlier, those are based off a 3D model that I downloaded. That's most of where this castle comes from. That's how this is possible. It's thanks to that 3D model. The plan is, I'm going to regret saying this because I don't know if it's possible. In a perfect world where I didn't have to do other custom sets, if this castle was my only thing, if this was all I worked on for a year, I would have, my original goal was to have the ground floor done by the end of this year. There you go, I said it. Bearing in mind I'm about halfway to that goal, I really thought I could power through and just get it done. I don't think I can. At least not while working on all the Tears stuff at the same time. Because that's my priority. Because I love making customs. I mean, I love this too, but you guys love customs, I love making them. It's a no-brainer. The custom sets are where my eye, my all-seeing eye of Sauron, where it sits. That's how I described myself the other day. My ever-watching eye moves west towards the next project. Good, okay. Right, we've nearly done the awkward part, so hopefully I can use big plates soon. We just got to get around this corner here. Does this part even come in green? Have I been using this and it's actually a colour error? Because I can't have colour errors in this model because it is supposed to be buildable. Theoretically. Theoretically, I'm supposed to be able to build this. Nice. Okay. Let's wind this down. 3:30. Yeah, see, it just kills time. It's just so slow. Even the figure drawing yesterday, I got more done there than I'd have today. It's not a big deal. This is what I signed up for with this castle. Okay. Good. 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 We have success. We have thrilling success. Last little bits. It refuses to cooperate. There we go. And then a 1x4. And then a 2 by something. And then a 2x6. Long green, green. Green, 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 green. Okay, last little bit, and then we can move it. Delete everything else. Delete all of the other things around it. Oh, nice. Okay, that's not half bad. See, it's not going to be this big because we're going to have a wall that like curves along it, obviously. So we don't have to worry too much. But I'm pleased that it is working though. That's a lot of green 8x8s. I hope they sell them in that size one day. Nice! Look at that. So flat. But we'll add trees. We'll add other stuff. I don't actually know what's on it in game. It might just be rocks. But we could always make it like a wildflower meadow like we did elsewhere. Just make it really bright and colourful. Yellows, oranges, greens. Okay, so we need to know the shape. So let me just bring in that reference imagery for the last couple of minutes. And as we do so, we can line up what we need to line up. So, according to this reference image, do that. Going to build a Zelda mock when you get back to Germany. Fantastic, Brick Wizard. Always good to see. We always love to see more. We love it, we love it, we love it. Any more Lego Zelda in the world is always a good thing. Hopefully, I could be cheeky. I can say, this castle must have inspired you. It's so big for no reason. But no, I'm excited to see whatever you come up with. I'm sure you will share it with us anyway. Okay. Then this comes zooming back in at a really sharp angle until my deepest point, and then it comes up. No, move over. Plate, there we go. Does that look about right? A big curve around and then a sharp bounce back. Quite deep into that plate. Okay. I'm fine with that. I think that's about right for the next layer. Okay. Okay, okay. Let's just compare it to one more reference image, just to be sure. From left flank floor 1. Yeah, I was right. Okay, I thought I was, but I had to be sure. So this is the green one that we're above. It comes into that point and that curves around and continues to do its own thing. So, okay, yeah, so we should probably buffet this just a little more, just so that it feels more rounded. That's better. Yeah, okay. Nice. So, Q1 has a home. It has a ceiling. And it will have walls that go up to the level of this that we can then bring across back into AR1, which we also did work on today. Although it's not going to look as good now. We did this over here. This section. And we fixed up over here. We started a new plate too, which we will have to name at some point. It'll be the next one in the chain, so whatever comes after R in the alphabet. You think I know? I don't. This section here is removable, but built in separate to the section next door. We'll come back and finish this up, and we'll bring Q1 back with it, I think, is when we do that. So we're going to stay in Q1 for the time being when I'm building on my own. This acts as much as a memory for me as it does for you guys. But for now, let us delete what we don't need. So there's absolutely nothing in the way over there, so we can delete that one. We can also delete this plate here, so anything attached to you. Oh, that's everything. Never mind. Let's delete that one first, and then all of that, and then all of that. Good. Why is there... Okay, there we go. Giant square there. So, not half bad. Not half bad for a day's work. Let's delete that too. We'll leave those there for now. Awesome. Okay, we'll wrap it up. That's going to be it for today. That's 2 giant plates done. That just needs a little bit more wall and obviously some decoration, but the decoration can wait for now. I'd rather get the wall on so I can continue going backwards, forwards and along, and then I can actually link everything back up into every direction. It's just going to require a lot of headache, so I'll have to do that one off stream. But thank you for joining. This will be the last one for a while, I reckon. But regardless of that, thank you so much for all showing up and taking part. And I hope if you're watching this afterwards, you leave me some comments down below, of course. And I will see you in the very near future, tomorrow with a video, in fact. So have a wonderful day. I'm off to go build a Master Sword pedestal. Have a good life.